Okay, so I know some Naruto and One Piece fans are probably right now extremely upset, disappointed, and in general asking why? Why is this happening right now? Why is this transpiring? Namco Bandai gods, why must you do this? Because in case you ain't here, it was recently announced that Namco Bandai has just canceled a ton of games that they had in development, in particular some of the titles that have had a lot of fans just really upset and questioning why the heck is this happening. Is Naruto and One Piece games they announced were canceled. They were scrapped along with a whole bunch of other stuff that is going down, and I'm gonna just keep it all the way real, coming extremely fresh off the heels of the massive success of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. In case you didn't hear, the newest Dragon Ball game that just came out sold 3 million copies in the first 24 hours of release. If you don't understand how insanely incredible that is, I want to say some of the previous Dragon Ball games took at least a solid year or so to sell something close to that ballpark, and this game did it in 24 hours. Therefore, this announcement coming fresh off the heels of that massive success, you can only imagine that that had something to do with kind of where Namco Bandai is moving towards and their restructuring. Because yeah, not only did massive titles like Naruto and One Piece games just get scrapped, but a whole bunch of employees as well were removed, and it seems like there's just a massive shift going on in the world of video game development. And I got all the details here, but I just want to say that while yes, we are fans of these titles and we love to get new games, you know, getting a new Naruto game, a new One Piece game, a new Bleach game, like there's a new Bleach game incoming as well, but like getting these games are indeed exciting. But let's be honest here, before we continue, if you would hit that subscribe button and that bell, I greatly appreciate it. I'll always update you on the world of anime and manga. Over the last, I want to say maybe half a decade or more, it seems like anime games have become more and more cash grabs and less about making games that'll last and sustain themselves outside of like Dragon Ball. Because with Dragon Ball, we know that they have been supporting Xenoverse 2 for like the last 7 million years. They just continue to DLC the living goodness out of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Like, it is what it is. That game has gotten the craziest support in the world. But outside of Dragon Ball games, for the most part, a lot of anime IPs just aren't getting that type of love, support, or even development. I mean, stemming all the way back to whether it be the One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows, whether it be Naruto Shinobi Striker, even though they actually have been supporting that game and I think there's a community for it, but for the most part, that was another game that a lot of fans was like, oh, you added in create a character, can we go back to Storm? And then they dropped the Storm Connections game not that long ago, and for the most part it was okay. I had fun with the little story mode, the original story that they implemented into it, but even that was a big letdown for the community. If you go into the discussions, you'll see that a lot of people have even moved on from that game, and they kind of moved on from it very quickly. There was a Jujutsu Kaisen game that I picked up myself, and I kind of even regretted it because outside of playing with one of my homies, for the most part, I never really even touched the game. Oh god, I just remember the Tokyo Ghoul game that I wanted to play and it looked horrible and I never bought. Namco Bandai and anime games in general, with this arena fighter obsession that they've been having, which, don't get me wrong, some arena fighters can be great. Again, look at Sparking Zero, it's freaking phenomenal. But for the most part, a lot of these arena fighters, like even Jump Force, that was disappointing. My god, the list goes on and on. I keep remembering. They've been cash grabs. Let's call it for what it is. These games have really just been, yo, an IP is hot, an idea is hot, let's just make a game. Who cares if it's of quality or not? Just put that out. And they've seen that when you actually take care, when you actually put in a lot of time, effort to make a quality game like Sparking Zero, the results will show. Boom, 3 million sales in one day. That's astronomical. That's incredible. The community is loving the game. It's had nothing but critical acclaim. And these are all of the elements to making a successful and sustainable game. Sparking Zero will probably go for the next 5 years, if not more, in terms of support, because people love this game. It already has an insane installment base of support from fans. And so Sparking Zero has probably been the catalyst to everything that is about to transpire and what has already transpired in terms of, yeah, it seems as though they're cleaning house. They're scrapping a lot of ideas that they were working on because they realize make quality, money will come. But let's read exactly what's going on, because it gets a little bit more crazier than just scrapping ideas. Bandai Namco is reportedly reducing its workforce and has canceled several titles, including games featuring the One Piece and Naruto licenses, as well as a contract project with Nintendo. According to Bloomberg, citing sources familiar with the matter, the company is taking a traditionally Japanese Japanese approach to reducing staff and sending workers to rooms where they are given nothing to do, putting pressure on them to leave voluntarily. Yeah, I heard that there's actually a law over there in Japan that, unlike the States and other places around the world, you're not technically allowed to fire your workers. So they put certain scenarios there for the workers to make the workers want to leave, like putting them in rooms where there's absolutely nothing to do and then finding any excuse to be like, aha, you was standing there and you was breathing a little too much. You gotta go. Bandai Namco Studios has reportedly moved 200 workers to such rooms, leading to almost 100 resignations. A representative of Bandai Namco told Bloomberg, "Our decisions to discontinue games are based on comprehensive assessments of the situation. Some employees may need to wait a certain amount of time before they are assigned to the next project, but we do move forward with assignments as new projects emerge." Basically, they're trying to say like, yeah, yo, when we got new projects, you know, sometimes we gotta put them in room. Like, yo, Bandai, come on, son, come on. There is no organization like an Odashi Baya at Bandai Namco Studios designed to pressure people to leave voluntarily. Oidaishi Baya is a practice used by Japanese corporations to isolate employees by giving them no tasks in an effort to get them to leave of their own volition rather than be let go and receive severance. Bandai Namco's latest release, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, has been strong in initial sales. The game developed by Spike Chunsoft surpassed a total of 3 million units worldwide in 24 hours after its launch, according to the publisher. And that's not just shipped. That is sold. So yeah, it seems as though Bandai Namco is restructuring, and some of that stuff, if it is indeed true regarding putting employees in rooms with nothing to do so they can be forced to resign on their own, is kind of wild. But again, I think that's part of Japanese culture in general. Like I said, I think there's laws put in place where an employer can't just immediately come in a room and say, yo, get out. So this is like a strategy. But again, Bandai Namco is saying like, yo, we don't do that, so who knows? Although in general, it is kind of crazy that, yo, we've seen massive success, and opposed to just utilizing that opportunity to be like, yo, dog, everybody eats now. They're kind of saying, you know what, let's go in a whole different direction now. Let's move this, let's get rid of that. Also, I'm extremely curious what project they had contracted from Nintendo. Maybe they were gonna do a Battle Stadium DON 2. If you don't know what that is, that was essentially a Super Smash Brothers-esque game that was created back in like the PS2 GameCube era, where it was Naruto, One Piece, and Dragon Ball. Maybe Nintendo was gonna do that, or maybe they licensed Goku finally to be in Super Smash Brothers. Either way, it seems as though Naruto, One Piece games are canceled, which in the long haul is going to be a very good thing, because if this is them canceling these games, removing these games for now because they're going to make something a lot better, something in the ballpark closer to like a Sparking Zero or Dragon Ball Fighters, something that is just of quality that can be supported. Because I know most fans of like the Naruto games in particular, like the Storm era, whatnot, those games, when they came out, we was excited, we was going crazy rushing to the stores. We haven't had that in quite some time for Naruto. And One Piece, Pirate Warrior games are cool. Burning Blood was okay-ish, but yeah, there's so much that can be done with these games. I'm waiting for the day that we get an anime game that is not just an arena fighter or a fighting game in general. Like, can we get a AAA type of anime game on the level of something like the Star Wars Jedi games? Like, those games are some of the best games I've ever played in my life. Can we get something closer to that quality? I'm just saying. But let me know what you guys think about this. How do you feel about this whole situation of them scrapping all these games, and what people are saying they're doing regarding the employees? The stuff with the employees, if that is true, that's kind of wild. Namco Bandai, like, yo. But restructuring, and if those games were just cash grabs that they decided, you know what, let's pull the plug on that, let's do something else, I'm here for it. That's all I have for this one though. I'm Tim. As always, people, have an awesome day. Subscribe and hit that bell to get more. Thank you so much.
Stop playing games, you know I'm not stupid. I'm not a dummy who the f*** you know.